Hi there, I'm Dan Martinez, and welcome to the first guitar lesson in this series. Now, what this series is aiming to do is going to bring people who potentially have never even touched a guitar before in their life and bring them all the way up to being proficient guitar players. Now, don't be fooled, this is not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in your sleep either. You're going to have to practice consistently. And beginners will go over some practice techniques later on in this video. Today's video is going to be mainly about knowing the guitar, Guitar Anatomy 101. So we're going to go over all the different parts of the guitar, and later on we'll go into some practice habits so you know not only what to practice in later videos, but how to practice effectively and efficiently. If you've been playing guitar for a while, this video will probably not be for you. This is for people who are just getting started. So keep a lookout, like and subscribe, and just keep a lookout for videos that will be more towards your level. As I said, we are going to progress in difficulty and depth as we go along to make you not only technically proficient, but also theoretically proficient so you actually know what you're playing. So, let's get started. So, this is a guitar, obviously. So we're just going to work our way right down. Here we go. So, this part right here, it's called the headstock. Alright, it houses the tuning pegs, which the tuning pegs are used to change the pitch of your strings, to tune your guitar. Which I probably just threw mine out of tune, but that's okay. Now, right here, this little piece of plastic may be difficult to see, but if I turn my guitar, I'm sure you have, if you have a guitar in front of you, you can look for this on yours. This right here, it's called the nut. It sort of cradles the strings and gets them up away from the fretboard so that because if they were touching the fretboard, they would just be buzzing and making noise all the time. So this gives it room to resonate when you play it. Now, speaking of the fretboard, this whole part, this whole thing is the neck of the guitar. But this front face is the fretboard. So, on the fretboard, we have a couple things. We've got these strings, obviously. These bars that you'll notice that are sort of dividing the fretboard are called the frets. Now, when you want to refer to a certain fret, you may refer to this is the first fret. When they say first fret, it means you're playing right in this space. Second fret, third, fourth, fifth, and so on, all the way up the neck. Now, these are the strings, part that you probably knew already. Alright, so right here we got a little close-up of the strings. So just a quick run through here. The strings, each string has a number assigned to it. 1 through 6, because there are 6 strings. So they start down here. This is actually considered the top of the guitar because when you're looking down on it, or when you do this, the string's going to look like it's at the top. Plus, it's the highest pitch. So high pitch, up, top of the guitar. So this one, ready? This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. And those strings are E, A, D, G, B, E. Again, that's right. Both of these, the thickest and the thinnest string, are both tuned to E. Alrighty, so we've got the strings now. How, in an electric guitar, are these strings getting sound to come out and go through speakers? Well, that is thanks to these guys, the pickups. We have the neck pickup and a bridge pickup. Now there's 2 of them because you get a slightly different sound from each of them. Yeah, so these basically pick up any electrical magnetic, waves coming out of these and send it down to the guitar into your amp. You can actually do some fun tricks with this. If you have your guitar on, you can take like a cell phone or something, and if you put it right up next to it, it'll pick up the sounds from the cell phone and put it through the amp. Try it sometime. Just don't do it very loud, and don't do it when your parents are at home because I don't want them getting mad at me when you really annoy them. So, let's see. What else do we have here? This this big wooden part is the body. And the body obviously holds all these things, but it also gives the guitar its the richness to its sound, depending on what type of wood it's made on, how solid or how hollow it is, all affect the sound of the guitar. Yeah. So down here we got a couple knobs and things going on. Right here, these are my volume knobs. You may have one, you may have two. These just affect the volume of these pickups. Try this. You may or may not have this feature on your guitar, but I can do this to tap the coils, and it can affect the sound as well. Then down here, what's this little guy? This is the tone knob. These are my volume knobs. This is my tone knob. This will change the tone of the guitar, the way it sounds, sort of the color of the sound. Now, what's this little guy? What's this doohickey? This is the selector switch. This selects which pickup I have active, which one's picking up the sound. So right now, in the middle, that's picking up both. I can go here for the neck, or down here for the bridge. All right, now, if you have an electric guitar, down here you've got an output jack. This is where you plug in your cable to send the sound to your amp. Pretty simple stuff. Down here you've got a strap pin. We've got one up here too. This is where you touch your strap to. And that is about it for guitar anatomy. That's all the important stuff, really. Now there's other internal workings, but you do not want to mess with those unless you know what you're doing, or you can really screw up your guitar. So we're not even going to worry about those. This is just the things that you need to know. Now in a later video, we'll show you how to change your strings, you know, things like that, and a little guitar maintenance, in which this video, knowing the different parts, will help. So yeah, these are things we're going to be referring to throughout videos throughout the series. You know, we'll definitely be referring to frets and strings, you know, so that's something you probably want to get as familiar with as possible, knowing that the strings are E, A, D, G, B, E. What was it? There's a good little mnemonic device. Oh, Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. So there's one you can use to remember what those strings are tuned to. Just remember that you're starting that with the big fat string. All right, so now let's get into some good practice habits. Let's talk about that. It might seem self-explanatory, but a lot of people, myself included, when I first started learning guitar, I did not have good practice habits. So when you're practicing, what you want to do is set some sort of goal in mind. For this week's practice, I recommend just learning the tuning of those strings. So what's a way to do that? You want to, when you're practicing, always start out nice and slow. And once you get comfortable with something, then move your way up. Repetition is key. Do not get frustrated. So for this, I might just go Eddie, E, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie. So E, A, D, G, B, E. Do that a couple times. Get familiar with that phrase. Then maybe you want to, once you're comfortable with that, make some flashcards or something, or find a way to have those letters, E, A, D, G, B, appear at random. You know, whether that's flashcards or someone giving you a letter. And then you just go, okay, D. Okay, which string is D? This is the D string, so that's a D. Okay, so then someone will say G. You go, okay, oh, G, right here. Something like that. Keep it random, mix it up to challenge your brain and really know those strings inside and out. Because that will be important for later lessons. How long should I be practicing? That's a question that comes up very often. Now, honestly, it doesn't take that much time, especially when you're first starting out. I would say for beginners, you want to practice about 15 minutes a day. That's it. The important thing isn't necessarily how long you're practicing, it's how often you're practicing. So if you're practicing 15 minutes, but make sure you're doing it every day and you're consistent with that, you're going to improve so much faster than if you just, say, practiced one day for 45 minutes, you know? So consistency is key, and like I said, repetition is key. Make sure you're practicing every day, just a little bit. 15 minutes is not that much time. Just go set a kitchen timer on your microwave or your phone. Everyone's got a phone. and just set a timer, 15 minutes, practice, sit there and just practice and really focus. Make sure it's good quality practice. Don't have the TV going or the radio going or something like that. Now, I'd say for an intermediate player, you want to practice probably 30 to 45 minutes a day. And once you get really advanced, this will be way down the road. I'm talking like maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, depending how hard you work at this, You'll probably want to be practicing like an hour a day. Don't worry about that. For right now, just 15 minutes a day is all I ask from you every day until just do that for a week and then watch the next video. All right, thank you for watching, guys. I know this video may have been a little bit dry, but it is important as a little base work for things that we're going to talk about in the future. And hopefully now you can move on to other lessons and really benefit from those. Now we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up, just open chords, bar chords, power chords. We'll teach you how to play a couple different songs with those different tools. Then we'll move on to pentatonic scales, major scales, minor scales, things like that. You can start soloing, and trust me, it's not as scary as it sounds. We're going to ease you right into it, and it's going to be fun. That's the #1 goal here, is to have fun while learning. So I'm very excited about this series, and I hope you are too. Like and subscribe to make sure you're not missing these videos, and keep up on your lessons. If you have any questions, put them down there in the comments, and I will try to answer every question as best as I can. And I also am thinking about offering Skype lessons. Price will be determined later on. But in these, we could Skype one-on-one. I can answer your questions as you go and view what you're doing, correct any mistakes that I see happening. And that will be, because these video lessons are great. It's a great tool to get you started. And you could probably take these pretty far, but there's nothing like having a good teacher really guiding you through this as you do it. That is the #1 way to get faster. But I know some people out there don't necessarily have the time or money or maybe they have a weird schedule. So it's tough to find a teacher. And I know that's the case for some people. So that's what these videos are for, to help you fill in those gaps and bring it as far as we can go. So, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this, if you're excited about it, maybe suggestions for future videos. And I hope to see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Keep practicing.